Hi everyone, Side here for this week's video. Hopefully everyone's doing well and staying healthy and warm and sleeping well. I for one have not been sleeping well because I've been so caught up with my creative processes. I am on the last stages of editing the upcoming novel about zombies and trauma bonds. I don't know how to pronounce that in English because Finnish interference. Anyways, so I'm at the last stages of that, and I'm also, having to work my 9 to 5, being really busy with that, and also keep having ideas for my sci-fi fantasy project. So there's a lot going on in my head. So at night I'm just struggling to fall asleep. It's it's that part has not been going too well, but I've been able to get back into more yoga again, taking that as my morning habit. And I have the covers ready because this book is going to be in both Finnish and English. So I had the English cover already ready weeks ago, months ago even, but then I had to figure out how to translate the title into Finnish so that it's not completely nonsense, but not directly translated either, because that doesn't always work too well. And then I had to edit the cover to reflect that. And then I had to make a back cover. I had actually written a back cover for this story back when I first finished it in 2019. And so I managed to find that old cover, and then I just painted a new back, the back image on Procreate on iPad, and then I just added the text. And let me tell you, adding text on the iPad is awful. I mean, I do have an external keyboard that I actually use instead of having to deal with the whatever. And so all of these things are coming up nicely, and of course I'll still have to get the correct cover size from Amazon and then add the spine text, which is going to be a fun time in my experience. But that's processing pretty well. There's 30 chapters and I'm currently editing chapter 20, actually 21, and then there's some small things that I still need to check, but overall I am on schedule to publish this thing before the end of January. So I'm a little nervous. I actually started hesitating about publishing this story again because I was like, oh, people are not going to be able to handle it because the characters don't really have a respite. They don't get to have a break really from things that are happening around them. And I was like, considering the times and all that. But this year a movie is gonna come out that is about a zombie apocalypse as well. I think it's in the summer that it's coming out. A long-awaited sequel, 28 years later, I think it's called. And then I came across this book page on Facebook, and the person who posted had taken a picture from the front pages of a book, and he had a list of trigger warnings. And reading through that list, I was like, if people are reading stuff like this and this is actually getting published out there, then maybe people will be able to handle what I have in this book. Now, of course, everything depends on whether Amazon is gonna let it go through, because they do have rather strict guidelines. So I've actually had to toned down the book down quite a lot. First of all, because of the possible restrictions by Amazon, as well as just because I wasn't comfortable with what I had written all of those years ago. But yeah, the book will be exploring the high stress situation of, being in a zombie apocalypse, and, building relationships that are not too healthy, but because the characters are going through the same trauma of having to deal with the zombies and shit like that, they form these trauma bonds, and then there's other things going on there that might be difficult for some readers to handle. A couple of psychological phenomena. And yeah, anyways, I wanted to talk about that. I'm not going to show the covers yet and all that, because first of all, I want to make sure that before I show my face and the book cover together, I want to make sure that Amazon lets it go through. And what's going to be fun about this publishing is that the whole thing about publishing the same story but in 2 languages. Of course, it's going to help that the story title, the book title, is going to be different, but we'll see how that goes. But if the draft goes through, I think I'm going to try it in English first. And if it goes through, then I'll be making another video about it and talk more about it. But I actually, when I started editing this book, I did not like that story at all. Comparing it to the one that I finished earlier in December, I was like, this is absolute garbage. I hate this. But now that I've been working on the edits, actually, it's a decent story, at least. But yeah, anyways. Now, I do want to talk briefly about the EstLink2 incident and, some recent updates about that. So yeah, as some of you may already know, EstLink2 is the power cable between Finland and Estonia, and this was damaged on December 25, 2024. So on Christmas Day, and like I mentioned in my previous video, I was visiting my parents and I was watching TV with my grandmother and mom and the cat. And yeah, watching that national special broadcast, that was out of this world. It's an experience I'd rather not experience again. Okay? Anyways, so this power cable provides electricity transmission between Finland and Estonia, and at the time the direction was from Finland to Estonia, and the exact cause is still under investigation, but authorities are considering all possibilities, including sabotage, and this is the most common assumption of what happened. So there was this ship, Eagle S, I guess is its name, and they made a weird loop around the area, and when the Finnish forces got on board of the ship didn't have its anchor. So, and I think they found dragging marks from the anchor on the bottom of the sea there. And I know certain nations' authorities have been trying to be like, oh, it's a sturdy cable, an anchor shouldn't be able to damage it. But anyways, and then there were 4 data cables that were also damaged. Now, this disruption definitely highlighted the vulnerabilities in critical undersea infrastructure and the importance of safeguarding these connections. And the Joint Expeditionary Force has reactivated elements of the response option to monitor threats to undersea infrastructure. And by what I've been seeing, there's a lot more activity now on the Baltic Sea, and just trying to ensure that this stuff doesn't happen anymore, because this incident, as you guys might have been following, there have been a series of high-profile damages to the undersea cables in the Baltic Sea, including, for example, the Nord Stream pipeline ruptures and, you know, data cables getting damaged and stuff like that. And authorities from Finland and Estonia are working closely to investigate the incident and repair the cable. And if I remember right, there should actually be a Swedish repair ship as well, you know, taking part in, you know, helping the neighbor out. The repair work is progressing as planned, and the connection is expected to be back in commercial operation soon. Now, yeah, this incident really serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting critical infrastructure, and Finland, Estonia, and everyone who has a shore by the Baltic Sea are going to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. Like I said, people generally have a very good guess as to what happened there this time and the previous times, because, you know, I want to be objective, but knowing our neighbor in the east and what they have been trying to do in the world, especially in the past 2 to 3 years in Ukraine, I think it's pretty obvious as to what happened there and whose interests it would serve to try and cripple nations like Finland and Estonia, who not only share a border with Russia, but also are part of NATO. But yeah, I just wanted to give a few updates on that. So the cable is being repaired, the cables, and it's going well. And like I said, it's a joint operation. So there's, you know, the Finnish repair ship, there's at least the Swedish one. Not sure if Estonia has any of those and if they have sent out any, but overall they're just working together. And in my understanding, the ship is still in port in Finland, you know, stuck there. And what else? I think that pretty much covers it without going into too many details and without pointing a finger too much. I mean, I did that just a tiny bit, but, you know. And I also have been thinking about joining this group of women who want to prepare for, you know, taking defensive action. I think I mentioned this in my previous video as well, but I'm way too old for the army by now. And I mean, yeah, with my attitude, I probably wouldn't have done too well there anyway. I have a habit of sometimes I follow what people tell me, like directions and instructions, but other times I'll be like, really? But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me rambling about my book and then this quick update on the EstLink2 situation. Not that I probably provided a whole lot new or groundbreaking information, but for those who don't follow that stuff elsewhere, you know. Anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week and enjoy your day or have a great night, whatever your time zone is. And yeah, see you guys later next week. Stay safe and warm and healthy. And yeah, later next week. Bye.